Welcome to the show, sir. I was discussing with Professor Haukep and also Mr. Chakma about this. Are you able to hear me, sir? Professor Bhagat?
I'm going out of my video because there is a problem. There is still the sound issue.
No worries,
Let
sir.
me go off the video.
Okay, please, sure. Can we run the voice of Professor Inam Bhagat? Professor Bhagat, there's this meeting with of Kukizo MLAs with Mizoram Chief Minister Mr. Zoramthanga. How do you view this particular meeting? What exactly does this meeting represent? Does this represent complete lack of trust, or I mean, which they have also demonstrated ample number of times with the Manipur Chief Minister, or are they feeling that that some sort of mechanism, help, or something can be done with this particular meeting? How do you view this meeting of Kukizo MLAs with the Mizoram Chief Minister, Professor Bhagat?
Well, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, sir.
See, I cannot say about the Kukijo communities who have met him, but one thing is very sure that Zoramthanga is going to be the next Chief Minister of Mizoram. The election is coming by and he has played his own politics. So, cheers to him and good luck.
So you're not going to interpret why this meeting is taking place, sir? Because
This has been going
there's
on.
also
What
one
is
question, Professor Bhagat.
why
Yeah,
why
please.
is there to play around with this? He has been poking his nose, and that we know because he wants to continue to be in power, and that is how it is. I mean, in spite of Nagas doing it in the greater Nagalim, I think the government of Nagaland and whoever were the chief minister has been very responsible. They have been very guarded, even though they might be wanting to have a greater Nagalim, but it has never come out because constitutionally you try to respect the other chief ministers and the matters internal affair of the other states. Joram Thanga has not done that, so it is his own wisdom. But all I can say is he is playing his own card. Electoral politics is in the line sometimes in November, December. So most likely he will win the election. That's it.
Okay, Professor Bhagat, there's also one question which I've asked both Professor Haukip and also Mr. Chakma is about, that there are also talk about post this meeting that, that if the MLAs can meet Zoramthanga, why can't they meet Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh?
Are you asking me?
Yes, sir, I'm asking you.
See, if the 10 of them goes and meet Biren Singh now, do you think their houses will be intact? And do you think that they are not in touch with him? I cannot make everything public. Some news also keeps coming. There is always in touch of the MLAs with the other MLAs. The Cookies MLAs are in touch with the MEITEI MLAs. But this will not be made public because everybody is risking their life and property because there are hardliners in both sides who wants the fight to continue, who wants the problem to escalate.
Okay.
So we have to wait and watch. And while the poor people who are displaced will keep on suffering, because those who are shouting at the peak of their voice for a big demands that they are asking, they are not affected. They are all in the safe zone. This is what you call as politics.
Okay, that's a very interesting thought. I'll first go to Mr. Chakma and then I'll go to Professor Haukip. Mr. Chakma, you heard Professor Bhagat. They're saying that what makes you think that Kukizo MLAs are not in touch with either MEITEI MLAs or the Chief Minister N. Biren Singh, but they can't make it public because their houses will be burned. I mean, are hardliners controlling the narrative completely in the state of Manipur, sir?
Well, absolutely. I agree with him. I mean, if there are communications between the US and Russia, despite the Ukraine war, obviously there will be communications between the MLS. At the end of the day, belong to the same party. Never forget that today they are representing the Cookies or the Métis. Tomorrow, once the conflict is over, they will all be representing the BJP. So the interest of the party and they believe in the leadership of the party, which is headed by, Home Minister Amit Shah, is intact or remains intact. So it's absolutely possible that they are talking to each other, or there is some tacit understanding between the MLAs. It takes place everywhere. This is not an exception. And I completely agree with whatever he said. And in fact, it's true that there are elements which not because possibly they had created it, because I think the radicalization took place over a period of 90 days. I do not think in the beginning this was the intention of any particular group. At least I don't believe either from the Kuki side or the MEITEI side. But once the conflict, start, and once the people start losing their life, and there are attacks and counter attacks which take place, people are usually moved by raw emotions, and those emotions at the end of determine the the mentality, the narrative, or whatever happens. So it's I completely agree with it, but I do not think, in any manner, that the radicalization which took place today was there in the beginning. Of course, there were contesting demands, contesting claims. That's true of all the neighboring communities.
Okay.
But I think the violence had, taken or shaped the narrative. And that is why I think the Home Ministry and all other actors are trying to just cool it down.
Professor Hauke, how do you respond to what Professor Bhagat just said, that that MLAs and every political entity is in touch, but they're not disclosing it because they fear that there will be loss to property and ostracization, as hardliners are now kind of controlling the narrative as far as the state. Hardliners from both sides are controlling the narrative. What do you say on that?
I think the kind of divide that we have in Manipur right now, it's not just that began from 3rd May. No, it has been a build up for the last so many years. It may look like the Biren Singh has certain policies which are favorable to the hill communities, like go to the hills, go to village. Like it looks like he has a kind of hill family, tribal friendly policy. But on the other hand, this kind of ornamental policies were hardly serving people, with their needs. Uh, but however, on the other hand, there is a simultaneous kind of policy which was very much, targeting a particular community for the last more than 1 year, and that has been very much hurting the community. So this has been built up for the last more than 1 year, and I think May 3rd is the culmination, and that's the result of what has been shown for the last 1 year. And if you ask anyone from the Koki community, they would be displeased with the chief minister, the kind of policies that he has on land, on forest and other protected and reserved forests. This has been specifically, mentioned in several discussions. And I have also mentioned that the kind of policies, or the kind of actions that have been taken upon hill communities is very different, because if you evict a certain people who are termed as encroachers in Imphal Valley, they will be encroached. Just a few people will be encroached. But if you try to make a certain area as a protected forest, thousands of people, hundreds of acres of lands would be, under the position of the government. So the tribals or the Kukis in particular feel that many of the lands which they have been tilling, which have been their livelihood for more than 2-3 centuries, has become suddenly a land of the uh, government. So
Okay.
that's the kind of fear that they have, and it really agitates, and the kind of of opposition to the policies and the government of the Biren Singh is exacerbated by that. And
Okay.
now, as we see, of course, the MLS may be communicating among themselves how they could bring, and there is a kind of information that the current Chief Minister of Manipur and Biren Singh has offered certain autonomy to the hill communities. That's a welcome move, but if you look into the history of Manipur, political history particularly,
Okay.
you'd find that in the last 45 years since statehood of Manipur, you'd find that apart from gaining full statehood, the majority committee has been getting eighth schedule status to the Manipuri language. Recently, ILP has been imposed or has been extended to Manipur, and now they are demanding ST. And what demand could have been, could have come in the future? So these are the
Okay.
kind of demands that the majority community has been receiving since statehood. But the only demand the Kuki and other tribal people in Manipur had been demanding was the extension of sixth schedule to the autonomous councils. But this
Okay.
has been opposed for the last 45 years. Just imagine,
Okay.
it's just autonomy within the state of Manipur, and this has been opposed to the nail. And
Okay.
look into the kind of bill that has been formulated by the Hill, tribal MLAs in 2021. That is the ADC Bill 2021, and that
Okay.
has been opposed to the nail by the Manipur government. So internal autonomy within Manipur has been impossible for the last 45 years for the tribals, and I don't blame right now the demands of the the Kuki and Naga communities also, because not even a minuscule of autonomy has been allowed in
Okay, I'll
Manipur
Professor
for
Professor
them.
Hauke,